This is very shocking. This is mind blowing. Don't scroll. Just hold on. I hear this. Julius Malema made a shocking accusation, very shocking accusation. He said that Nelson Mandela was working with the whites, that Nelson Mandela was a stooge of the South African whites. Okay, and he gave some reasons, he gave some explanations. He said that arrived, when Nelson Mandela left the prison, he went to Soweto and he spent only one night in Soweto. Then the next day, Nelson Mandela went to Johannesburg and was lodged by a white family. Okay, I think a white family, either the Oppeinheimer family, a very popular family, or a related family. He was lodged with a white family, and he stayed in that white family's house. Not in their guest, he stayed in their house and was receiving all manner of visitors. So people were coming from all over the place to see Nelson Mandela. Okay, people were coming to commiserate to see him in that house. All sorts of white people were coming. Apart from that, then after a while, Nelson Mandela now bought a house in Johannesburg, a big mansion in Johannesburg. So Julius Malema is saying that Nelson Mandela all along was working with and for the white people. And he said that where did Nelson Mandela get the money to buy a house immediately after leaving the prison? That house was bought for him by the Oppeinheimer family, one of the richest families in South Africa. He also accused the current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, of being a stooge of the white South African. He says, so for me, I'm looking at it like this. Why is it that after all the atrocities that the white people committed against black South Africa, then when Nelson Mandela came in, Nelson Mandela was preaching peace. He was not preaching justice. He was preaching peace. How can there be peace without justice? Okay? All the land, he did nothing to shift the economic realities of South Africans. He did not do much to say, okay, all the lands that were taken by white South Africa, to find a way to regulate the constitution to ensure that some of those lands come back to black South Africa. He did none of that. Because according to Malema, he was always working for the whites. I don't know how true this is, but it looks like when it comes to Africans, we're expected to forgive. But whenever anybody touches an American, even if it's 1,000 years later, they will go back and they will go for revenge. But in Africa, we always taught to turn the other cheek. Nelson Mandela turned the other cheek. So the question is, how has it fared for South Africa?